It began not with a charge, but with a warning. The earth would tremble, the sea would boil, and from the east a god-king was coming, Xerxes, son of Darius, lord of the Persian Empire, ruler of men from the Nile to the Indus. He commanded the largest army the ancient world had ever seen, a tidal wave of soldiers, cavalry, warships, and rage, and Greece stood in its path. This is march through history. This wasn't the first time. 10 years earlier, at Marathon, the Greeks had humiliated Xerxes' father. Now the son had returned to finish what his bloodline began. But Greece was no empire. It was a patchwork of proud, quarreling cities: Athens, Thebes, Corinth, Sparta, each with its own gods, its own grudges, its own glory. And yet, as Persia loomed over them, a few of these rival states chose unity, chose resistance, chose Thermopylae, a place where mountains meet the sea, where numbers count for nothing and courage counts for everything. The Hot Gates. Here in 480 BCE, a force of roughly 7,000 Greeks gathered, but at their core, 300 Spartans, led by a man who would become a legend, Leonidas, the warrior king of Sparta. To understand Sparta, you must understand sacrifice. Boys torn from their mothers at age 7, raised not to speak, but to obey, not to live, but to die well. Spartans were not born brave. They were made. And now at Thermopylae, this bravery would be tested. Xerxes arrived with hundreds of thousands, some say over 1 million. Even modern estimates place him at over 200,000 strong. He waited, certain the Greeks would flee. Instead, he received a message from Leonidas himself: "Come and take them." And so he did. On the first day of battle, the Persians struck hard, expecting collapse. But the Spartans stood in a wall of bronze and discipline. They fought in phalanx, shields locked, spears piercing, every motion rehearsed, perfect, deadly. The narrow pass made Persian numbers useless. They could come only a few at a time, and they died a few at a time. On the second day, Xerxes unleashed his elite guard, the Immortals. They too were broken. The pass choked with the bodies of the dead. Greek losses? Minimal. Persian losses? Catastrophic. Xerxes watched his invincible army bleed, and then fate turned. A Greek named Ephialtes offered the Persians a secret: a goat path, winding through the hills, a way to outflank the Greeks and surround them. Xerxes took the offer. As night fell, Persian troops marched through the darkness, and Leonidas received the news. He knew what dawn would bring. And so he gave the others a choice. Most of the Greeks withdrew, commanded to fight another day, but 700 Thespians stayed. So did a handful of Thebans. And the 300 Spartans? They never intended to leave. Surrounded, exhausted, out of food, out of hope. But not out of defiance. They fought with broken spears, with swords, with hands, with teeth. Leonidas fell, his body surrounded by his men. They protected him in death, as they had in life. It was over. Thermopylae had fallen. But something else had risen. A legend. Stranger, tell the Spartans that we lie here, obedient to their laws. That stone still stands today. Because of Thermopylae, Greece had time. Time to evacuate Athens. Time to rally the fleet. Time to strike back. At Salamis, the Persian navy was destroyed. At Plataea, their army broken. The invasion failed. The king returned home in shame, and the stand of the 300 became eternal. But who were these Spartans? What kind of world creates men who choose death over surrender? Who train their bodies into weapons and raise boys to become legends? And what of the warriors they faced? The immortals. Persia's shadow army. 10,000 elite soldiers, said to never fall, never falter, never die. Would you like to see a full video on the Spartans? Or uncover the truth behind the immortals? Their weapons, their mystique, their legacy? Let us know in the comments. This is March Through History. Subscribe for more stories of warriors, weapons, and the world they fought in.